Never ridden that. Woo! Woo! What's going on, guys? I'm just out for a lunchtime cruise right now, but I wanted to tell you guys about the riding experience I had this past weekend. As you saw in the title of the video, I rode some ridiculously steep trails. Like, I'm talking the kind of trails that are so steep that you basically can't walk down them. The only choice is to stay on two wheels and try to make it down. So the weekend started off with me getting together with a couple guys. We were meeting in Barbarano, Vicentino, and we were setting out to ride Autovelocs and Red Bull. Now, I know I've covered those trails before. However, we were riding new sections that I had never even scoped out before, and whew, it was gnarly. Right when we were all meeting up in the town square, we actually ended up running into some other locals, the IRTA team guys, the same ones that showed me Bro John. We had a huge group rolling down the trail. It was incredible. So we're now at the top of Autovelocs, and typically I'd always go to the left here, but we actually veered to the right. And you can tell pretty quick that there's something ahead because everybody starts to pile up, and it's almost like nobody wants to go down the trail first. So we drop into this rock garden. It's a little off camber, super loose, and it's rowdy, as you can see. But don't worry, it gets way steeper than this. Now, of course, on this section, there's already major GoPro effect coming into play. And today, I'm actually riding with my GoPro Max, my 360 camera, and this is the first time that I'm using it on really steep trails. So I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on exactly what it looks like, and if you feel like it gives a better sense of the depth in comparison to a traditional Hero GoPro. And since I'm using the Max, while we're going down Autovelocs here through this more mild portion, I decided to play with the Max a little bit more in the framing of it and everything, kind of turning the camera through the corners and whatnot. And I know some of the angles are a little bit unnatural compared to what we're used to seeing with POV footage, but I would love to get your guys' thoughts and let me know what you think. If you enjoy it, if you don't, it gives me a better idea for the future on the types of content and video format that you guys would like to see. Now, as we're making our way down Autovelocs, don't think that the steepness is over yet, because again, just like at the top and how I normally went left, this time I went right. Now that we're approaching the bottom, where I normally go right, this time we're gonna go left. And I've seen the trail to the left before, but I'll be honest, I wasn't even sure if it was actually a trail, because when you look, it just drops straight down. It like plummets, and it's super narrow, pretty tight, and you really question whether or not it's rideable. But a couple of the IRTA team guys leading off the front, they dropped right in, and sure enough, we all just followed in line, and it was wild. I can't believe that all of us made it down that without issue, if I'm honest with you. Never ridden that. Woo! Woo! Party. Ciao. After we finished up Autovelocs, we headed up the climb and made our way over to Red Bull. Now, I've covered Red Bull many times before on the channel, so I'm not going to do a full top to bottom run or anything like that. But I do want you guys to see the footage of me following my great friend, Luca. Luca is a local, and he's been riding Red Bull literally his entire life. This guy knows the trail like the back of his hand, and it shows. Every single corner, every line possible on the trail, he has it dialed. He knows exactly where he's going at all times. In fact, I bet that he could ride this trail with his eyes closed. He's super fast, stylish, and he is an absolute machine. And when it comes to these trails, he blows me away. Oh my God, the dude is fast. I'll follow you. After we stopped to session the road gap a couple of times, we dropped back into the trail and I'm following Luca again. And we were on a burner. We were going so fast, just flying through the woods, hitting all these berms, cruising. And then we get to this really tight technical switchback section. And I've ridden it a bunch and I always felt like I could get through it pretty quick. Well, Luca quickly showed me that I'm not that quick. So we make our way through the corners. I'm doing great. We're hanging in there. And then there's a rock. And I always would check up a little bit so I could roll off of this rock because it's a good size, like 3-foot drop probably. Well, what I realized is following Luca, there's actually a little gap to the left and you can take it further to the outside. It doesn't require you to brake check before the corner. And just check out this guy's speed when he goes ripping through here and the gap that he puts on me in an instant. Just like that, he has easy 10 bike lead on me just coming out of that one corner. So this is where cornering and vision and choosing your line is super important when it comes to trying to go fast and maintaining your speed on the trail. You can really see the difference that it makes here in that quick separation that Luca puts between me and him. Anyways, we make our way down the rock garden. I know you guys have all seen this before. Super rowdy, gnarly, technical rock garden with a beautiful, gorgeous view of Colleugani off in the distance. And then right after that, we head down to near the bottom, and that's where things get super interesting. So you're traversing along the ridge line, and then all of a sudden, off to your left-hand side, you can just see there's a fall off. Really steep. Like you look down there and you're just like, wow, that is steep. And if you're gonna go for it, it takes serious commitment because there's not really much room for error and there's not much room that you could just bail out or anything like that. So again, just like Autovelocs, we all just kind of towed in behind each other. And I was a little skeptical about that on this one because I had looked at it before and I knew it was no joke. So we drop in and I quickly realized we're running into a traffic jam and this is so steep that you can't stop. Hang on. So I stop as quickly as I can off to the side of the trail, kind of on a ledge before the next steep grade that goes further down. And I realized I'm gonna hike back up to the top and give it another go. As you can see, I survived and I am so stoked about it because steepness like this, I can remember just a couple years ago, there's no chance that I would have even considered riding down it. And when I got on trails that weren't even as steep as this one, I would end up having to walk sections or try to slide down on my butt while awkwardly hanging onto my bike and not losing it. I'm sure that many of us have been there before. It's never a good time and you just feel like you're incompetent and you don't know how to ride a bike. But with practice and more experience and more time on steeper terrain and gradually working my way up to it and really working on that brake modulation and bike handling skills, I finally feel like I'm at a point where I can ride some super steep, gnarly terrain. So it's such a great feeling and it was such an awesome weekend riding with all the guys. Had a blast in Barbarano. Italy is finally yellow again, so we can travel and we can go and ride in other places. So I can't wait to be getting out to the Dolomites and everywhere else in the very near future. Really looking forward to it. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tell me where to ride next.